What's up, guys, and welcome to Team Building with Jam. Now, if you're expecting a live, the live is still happening. There should be a timestamp. What I decided to do was merge the Team Builder with the Showdown live. So, yeah, we're recording the Showdown live first. It just makes, the Team Building first, obviously, so you can see how it came to be. This should be, try to keep this below 10 minutes. You get an idea of it, and then we can ease on into the game. But if you want to skip the Team Building, just click whatever the timestamp says. So Hisuian Zoroark is the last of the new Pokemon. Can you believe it's been a week since Walking Wake put its foot on the OU metagame, and it's already left the print? Can you believe I came up with that off the dome? I really should be paid for this stuff. But Hisuian Zoroark. So the team's already built. I stopped doing the from scratch process because that takes a very long time. Especially if I'm trying to do something very, very well. And this is a case where I kind of did, but for time's sake, I decided I wouldn't say wing it, but not be as thorough in my thinking up partners process, because why use Hisuian Zoroark? It's actually legitimate from a typing and offensive stat standpoint, like just ability aside, it's a legitimate Pokemon. Moveset, like, gets plot, amazing offensive typing, is actually quite legit. But why use it over another mon, right? You want to abuse that illusion ability. And so if you're going to be tricking someone, and that's trick, but if you need to be tricking someone, then obviously you want the thing that you're tricking to benefit from it, or the Pokemon that you're mimicking to be something that Zoroark can benefit from. What does that mean? If you have a stall team and an Hisuian Zoroark, I suppose that could work. Could lead with something slow, and people think, they're looking at a Dondozo who leads Dondozo, but you get the idea. People think they're looking at a Dondozo, and then they get Zoroark in some capacity. All right, that's one way to do it, but it's probably not the best because you're giving up a defensive slot for some gimmicky trickery that may work once. So in the case of this team, it's going to be a fairly offensive team. I would say maybe more bulky offense. I know Wall per se, no mon has recovery. It's just full throttle and beat you in the dirt, right? And so Zoroark does not want to copy an Amoonguss, because Amoonguss has very little offensive weight, and the things that Amoonguss baits in. Sure, maybe Zoroark could catch which is a Corviknight with flamethrower or something, but it's much more useful on a team that once the wall has been weakened, that next offensive Pokemon can really chow down. And so these are the teammates I decided to go with, right? I try to think of something very quickly. Okay, what are some moves Zoroark gets, right? You want to think about what moves it gets, and then what Pokemon would benefit from those moves being used on one of its counters. Okay, in English that means if I have a King's Gambit and I have Zoroark copy King's Gambit, you're going to ask yourself, well, what's one of the most common switch-ins to King Gambit? You're going to say Great Tusk, right? Great Tusk is the number one switch into King Gambit. It's going to come in 10 times out of 10. Or a defensive Garchomp, which I think will make a comeback, but it's going to be a Great Tusk if they have it. Okay. Or a Tinglu or something of that nature. It's one of the few things that even if after its SDs, because of its bulk, it can still beat it, right? Because the big thing is that it's not weak to Sucker Punch. Because all the other ones, even if it hits it and takes one hit, then it has to worry about the Sucker Punch afterwards. So let's say Great Tusk. You're like, okay, in the early game before any Pokemon has fallen, what I'm gonna do is put my Zoroark as King Gambit, and I'm going to lure in that because King Gambit's one of those mons you don't want to risk it actually being King Gambit and you don't go to your Great Tusk, right? So it's like the guy is like, I think this is his King Gambit. I think this might be the Zoroark, but I'm not 100% sure. And so they go to their Great Tusk. Boom. They get shadow balled, put in the dirt, or they get tricked, whichever one you want to do. And I paired this with a Lumberry Terra Flying. Kingamb's one of those mons that can run almost anything, because it's just insanely bulky. It's a very versatile mon. I did not expect it to be as I just thought it was but Terra typing really took this Pokemon to a whole nother level. And actually in practice you realize just how ridiculously bulky this thing is. Like, I mean, unnecessarily bulky. Like, this thing does not faint in one hit ever. Like, it's insane, unless it's, you know, CC and he stays dark, and even then some fighting moves don't one shot this thing. Isn't that insane? But yeah, so the Terra Flying is there on the off chance you do get a one liquid hit on the on the Great Tusk, and that's 50-something% gone, because he's gonna have to switch back out. You could take advantage of that and get saucy and switch yourself. But that 50% is gonna be a big deal, because now Gambit, when it does come, is hitting that SD, and then they're gonna I need to get my Tusken pronto. And then when that Tusk comes in, he's feeling saucy, goes for the EQ, Terra Flying, Iron Headed, and now that boy has a problem, right? And so that's one way Zoroark can be abused. And really, this team builder is just explaining how the teammates can Zoroark people. That's really because it's a certain mon. It's a certain kind of mon. That's why I opted for a trick. You're gonna see. So I initially had Baxcalibur, because there's a couple other mons you could put: Baxcalibur, Cinderace, such and such. And I said, you know what else pairs well? I think everybody figured out that Dragapult does. Why? Excuse me. Because Zoroark is a part normal, so it is immune to Ghost, right? It's probably the biggest one. I don't want to say that's the biggest one. I think there are two core things. Zoroark's moveset can be almost identical to Dragapult, barring the Draco meter. Like, so if you look at mine, it has U-turn, Shadow Ball, Flamethrower. If you think I'm Dragapult and I use any of these moves, you're not certain if that's my Dragapult or my Zoroark. But here's where things get saucy. I'm actually Physical Pult, right? And so I may bluff Zoroark being special. You see that U-turn damage? Okay, specs. And then I come back with my actual Dragapult later and body you, as you decide to say, okay, well, he specs, so I'm gonna use my Blissey to check him, or he specs, so I'm gonna use my my Garganical to check him, and he just get dumped upon. You know what I mean? Or you may feel like, okay, well, I can use Tinglu to check him. Boom, you get U-turned upon, or you get darted, right? And oftentimes people don't have a ton of Terra Ghost counters beyond that one Dark type that they'll likely try to switch in on you. And so soon you'll be start Terra ghosting people left and right. And that pairing, and also certain counters, let's say, okay, going to his Tinglu, you know you have the Zoroark in, you could U-turn on him and get the pivot. Sometimes that might be the better play, pivot into Breloom. But also you could say, you know what, Tinglu, you need to calm the fuck down, and you trick him, right? And then you U-turn on that fool, right? And that's set up fodder for young Gambit later on in the game, as he tries to EQ you. You turn into a flying type. You unleash the wings from the Red Bull he just took, SD in his face, and now he's in the dirt, right? He's in the dirt. And that's what you want. You want your opponents in the dirt at all times. If you're in a battle, guys, and your opponent's lip doesn't have soil on it, you're fucking up, right? And so that's what this channel is about. This channel is about getting soil on your opponent's lips. Okay. So the next Pokemon, it's funny because I used Loom in the Uber live, and somebody commented, "Yo, this guy loves Loom," which is funny because I have not used Loom in God knows how long prior to that. Like, it's, if you count my lives, I could get Tusk, but Tusk is the #1 used mine. That's like saying this guy loves Lando, or like this heterosexual guy loves women. Like, duh, right? That's not really a case, or that's not really something you point out. Man, you love brushing your teeth, right? If you don't love brushing your teeth, if you don't use Great Tusk, then you have a problem, right? So, jokes aside, Loom. Because I was thinking, okay, what's an annoying ass mon that is like, I wanted to pair it with things that make you go, if this is not Zoroark, I'm about to be fucked. Like, I didn't want it to just be like, okay, I can stomach the hit, and, I can shrug it off. Loom is a mon. If you are wrong and you get something put to sleep, you're done. But it's also, if you are wrong and it is Zoroark, if you're right and it is Zoroark, and you still go to the Loom counter in, Goldengo, Mungus, people like to switch Polt into Loom as well. Then you're done. You're done in this town. All right, so Loom is one of those mons that it's a catch-20. It's like, if this is his Loom and I don't switch out, he could destroy me. If this is Zoroark and I don't switch out, he could destroy me. So that's Loom there. Like, Loom immediately puts a lot of pressure, and so Zoroark oftentimes against Amoonguss, things that want to come on Loom. Now you could opt for a slightly different set. Could run some Swordsdance, Sporeless thing. I like Spore because it immediately takes a mon out of the game for the most part. I don't like running Sporeless Loom. Otherwise, why the hell are you have a Breloom on your team? Especially with Zoroark. The moment you use Swordsdance, you kind of give it away. And the thing that you could have just done that more times than not, even if you were an illusion, you could do the thing you were doing, especially if you're Focus Sash, and lure in the counter and attack it and such. Like Zoroark isn't. Now, if it's something like a nasty plot user where they think the Zoroark is still in, then so be it. But not with Swordsdance. And so the last two Pokemon are just support. You need rocks, you need Hazard Control. Particularly with this, more so if it's pretending to be Breloom than anything else, because Supreme Overlord shows, Zoroark won't show unless they assume you're Defiant, which is not an impossibility. It's gonna be Terra Fire. Let's throw Terra Fire on here. We always use water. It can be a backup Volk such a solution if I need it, you have Choice Guard Trick to shut down the Volks if they're getting too spicy. If it's Terra Fire, Volk runs so many Terra types these days. I've only faced that Terra Fire situation once, but I can see it. It can run so many Terras. Like, Volk. Question for you guys: what do you think the mon with the most versatile Terra usage is? Meaning, like, it can run so many Terras effectively. I'd say Gambit is definitely in the top 5. I'd say maybe. I don't know if I'd put Garg, because I'd still say Garg runs 2 Terras, Fairy, and Water. I mean, you see Rogue, Ghost, and things like that, but I think it pretty much is always going to run that. Volk is genuinely like, you don't know. It could be quite a few. But I'd put Gambit and Volk, where it's like, you really don't know which one it could be. I'd say every other mon in the tier as I'm scrolling, it can pretty much guess, for the most part, which one. So yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. Definitely want to hear from you guys about that. Pex too, maybe. I haven't terrored Pex much. But then we have Rotom here. It's gonna be Spadef to help us out with that boy Walking Wing. It's crazy how times have changed, because Fizdef Rotom was like a no-brainer, and now with Gren being introduced, with Walking Wake being introduced, Zoroark on some level as well, and just the Xianpaos being gone. What's happened really is the heavy hitters, the physical heavy hitters, aren't as prominent as they used to be. Primarily Xianpao, right? That's why you ran Fizdef Rotom, not because it counters Xianpao, because even then Terra Dark could one-shot you if you're not careful, but more so for the Xianpao plus Dragonite situation. But I think we have enough firepower to take on a Dragonite if need be, especially because we have the Trickery and Illusion, which makes us immune to extreme speed. So push come to shove, we should be able to handle that boy. So yeah, that's the team 15 minutes in. If you made it here, hit the like button, and we're about to make a smooth transition into the live. Excited to try this out. Stay tuned. We have a lot of ground to recover. Have fun, bro. So first thing you want to do with these Zoroark teams, right? I'm talking like I've been using Zoroark all my life. But you're like, okay, you still go through the normal process of like what destroys the opponent, right? So in this case, Gambit for sure can put a damper in the opponent's lunch for a couple reasons. Primarily because it's terrifying. Now, if this is banded Ice Shard, then that's concerning unless we get it in our turn where we can Terrafly and just one-shot it. But yeah, also he's very weak to fucking Zoroark C right here, my Dragapult. From a Dart sense and from a Terra Ghost sense. More so from a Terra Ghost sense, I might Terra this instead. Rotom, so let's break it down. Which one do I want to body him with? Loom doesn't need Zoroark's help. Like it already spores him on, so we're leading Loom no matter what happens. So we can shut down a mod pronto, and then Loom is just annoying as fuck after that. Tusk is actually quite solid. It's gonna primarily be there to check this bad boy. This shuts this down. It can help with this, but it's really for these. Again, Zoroark C, Dragapult. I'm reluctant to Terra it just off the bat, but I'm gonna have Dragapult copy my Zoroark. Zoroark copy. What's his Gambit? If I go Gambit, what does he go to? If I go Gambit, he'd have to go to Folk. I'd like Zoroark to be my Dragapult in this one. So we're gonna actually Loom lead. So it's last slot, right? Yeah, actually I think it works where I don't remember if it's last slot, like if the Zoroark is in the last slot itself, but so Iron Threads comes out. This is best case scenario for us. I get a speed boost, he's booster. So like this is wonderful. This is wonderful. The reason this is wonderful is I can bulldoze. Wait, what? Well, I guess I could have spored, but he didn't get rocks up. The reason I was saying I could just bulldoze there, I wouldn't have to give up the spore. So I would expect him to stealth rock. I'd bulldoze and then mock punch him, and my sash wouldn't be broken. But since he's steel beam, Storm Zone linked me a team with that. This might be Storm Zone, truth be told to you. This might be some Storm stuff. The mock punch is mid. Like it's nice for backs if it's not Ice Shard, and it's nice for Roaring Moon. Depending on what he goes to, if I have a hard counter, then I'll just switch out. He was like, this is what I'm talking about, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. He was like, I don't know if that's actually his Breloom, bro. So Dragonite is probably the worst mon he could have gone into, primarily because I have a whole ass Rotom Wash. I don't understand this decision at all. Lumberry or something? Come on, bro. Is he Facade? Am I running into the one Facade Dragonite in the game? If he's Facade, so be it. I don't know why he's DGing if I go. There are a couple ways I could skin this cat. If he's bulk up, if he is +2 earthquake, because I could go Gambit and Terra Flying and knock him out. So I'm gonna do is go Pult first. I want to see if he has what his moveset is. So we're gonna pivot back to Rotom here. Earthquakes, yeah. I want to see if it's a Roost. Dragon Dances again. I can go Gambit now. Terra Flying. Kowtow, and that should be good. Okay, what the fuck did I just experience? The shit wasn't even. So bro really is just like, I don't know what to do, and then goes to Volk of all things. For a lot of reasons, Volk isn't the best here. One, as you just Tao, you're probably offensive, right? Which means you don't have Morning Sun, and I have Young Lum. I just don't think he knows what to do. The Zoroark, like he's like at any moment anything could be Zoroark, and so I have trust issues. That's what's going on right now, and I still haven't unveiled the Zoroark. So bro is having a midlife crisis, and I love it. Icicle crashes. I was never gonna switch there, especially because I guess I can't go Polt, can I? I guess this could be annoying. If I go, because the last two, my Scarf Zoro should be able to beat the Valiant unless it is. So I need Rotom. I need. So let's say worst case scenario is Banded, and I go. So let's say both of these are booster. I need my Loom and my Rotom for the Roaring Moon in case it's the flying variant. Let's say I go. So what I'll do is I'll opt for. I mean, for him to go straight Valiant would be somewhat of a risk, but my problem is that I'm max for def. Okay, I figured he might fear me being Zoroark. So it is booster. I figured, okay, if it's booster, he outspeeds my Zoroark. But Rotom is max for def Swords Dance booster. Shit. That's kind of okay, and it's not. I think Tusk can take one hit and he'll knock me out with CC. I don't need the Rotom any longer. Wisp. The out chance he Swords Dances again. Fuck. This is good. Man, this is good for two reasons. I can Mach Punch him and Sucker Punch him. And I'm pretty sure Tusk eats one and he's used his Terra. Maybe this wasn't the best play. I should have went Polt first, suckered him, then went Loom and mocked. That way I have something for the Roaring Moon, so it's too late now. I'm just going to Earthquake. Spirit Break shouldn't kill me. Problem is now he gets to go to the thing. Is this booster too? Is Acro, yeah. And it's attack boosting though, so my so Dragapult outspeeds him. Okay. Phew. That could have been nasty. GG, bro. Yeah, the one dart was sufficient. Jeez. The power. So Gambit destroyed. His Dragonite sequence threw me because I'm like, okay, he must have something. Like, why is he just throwing his Dragonite in the wind? So I'm like, okay, something. I've been facaded in the past. I've been facaded in the past as a guy using a Zoroark. Just thought about what I just said. Very similar situation. Again, Zoroark is just so many mind games, right? Look at the situation. I'm not gonna Loom lead here because I don't think Loom, with his filthy thing, it could do some work. And Loom isn't the best matchup for that. I guess I could Bullet Seed, but Bullet Seed into Mach, he'd go to Polt. I don't like that, especially if I can just Darts to a KO it. I don't know if Darts to a KOs, but it's gonna be wondrous. Especially because Zoro, but I Toad Screw is the worst case scenario for me. So what are we gonna do to win this game? Valiant's quite annoying. I can't Terra my Gambit super easily because of his own. As far as sweeping goes, I could Terra it, but sweeping wise, it's not as easy. But I suppose I don't need to sweep with Gambit. It's just gonna be like I'm going to overwhelm his team with my Ghost Stab. I could destroy him with Scarf Zoroark because I have Terra Ghost on that as well, and Loom in the late game once I get rid of this Toad Screw is a nuisance, and my Great Tusk, just Great Tusking, is actually a big issue as well. So we're gonna Zoroark's gonna be Zoroark's gonna be who makes sense. Zoroark is going to be Zoroark's gonna be my King's Gambit. Zoroark's gonna be my King's Gambit. Okay. So as I said, I think darts should kill this. Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. Because again, the boy's scared out there. It's a scary ass world out here, man. Scary ass world. So Rotom can take, unless it's Swords Dance like the last guy, and it is. If Threat Ray did 41, CC might kill me, but he's gonna have to give up his booster to do so. Okay, excellent. That's perfect. I mean, I could not have asked for a better sequence. The reason I don't let Tusk copy it, is it better to EQ or to rocks here? Rocks don't actually serve me. You want to always think about, why am I using a move? Everything on his move and his team resists stealth rocks. There's no focus sasher I should be worried about unless it's balloon Goldengo. This guy goes hard Goldengo on a great Tusk. You can't make this stuff up, my friends. My friends, you cannot make this stuff up, my friends. This vote could be a lot of things. What I'm actually going to do is end up going hard Zoro and tricking it. Giga Drains. He's like, oh my goodness. So he shows me Giga Drain. I could have pulted. We're going to do his trick. Oh man. That's why I love trick. So that's a big fucking deal. My Gambit is a problem now. Now his Volcarona is gone. But all I needed to know was whether the Volk was Wisp or not. If it's not Wisp, my Dragapult can take him on. And this allows for my Great Tusk to come in. And there's very little he can do about it. He's likely going to sack the Valiant, which is a non-factor anyway. So rather than... actually, he might go hard too. He actually leaves the fucking... He's flinching me. This is insane. This is not real life, bros. This can't be real life. My Great Tusk is gone. It's not like it's the end of the world, but that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable behavior, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you agree? It was more important. Great Tusk, like my fucking Tusk should be at full, and it's not. This is ridiculous. I could, so obviously a lot of things outspeed. Loom would be a waste here because he can counter me with both Valiant and with Dragapult, in the sense that if I Mach Punch, he could go to either, and I can't Spore either of them. So you want to make a decision that covers. So it's funny because I could Terra Ghost with my Band Pult, and there's no counter for that. I could, if I Terra Ghost, we're staring down his Dragapult. We get to find out what it is. With my Sash Loom intact, I don't think any variant of Pult. I mean, other Pult could, physical Pult could beat me. Problem is that goes Gambit. This dude's insane. It's insane. Right. For that very reason, you're an insane brother. So now I can Spore. Debating whether or not it's worth doubling out. Let me say I doubled. Let's say I doubled. Actually, a mistake I just made was that no, this will still be fine. I can go because he's sucker locked. We can Spore here. Do I want to Spore? He's never switching, or he should never be switching here. Because what I want is a situation. If I Spore this, he's going to switch. I'd rather have my Loom to be able to Spore Volcarona in particular. So what I end up doing is pivot to Gambit. He goes Pult, which I did not expect. This is actually phenomenal. If he does knock me out, that means, okay, Terra Blast fighting, which means he's physical, which means it's over. That means he can't touch mine. Yeah, it's over. Because you can't. What are you going to do? You're going to go back to your Pult and try to darts. Actually, he's a win con. His Pult winning the speed tie wins him the game. That just struck me. I should not. Well, I mean, how would I have predicted Terra? If he, it literally just struck me that if he wins the tie, let me see what the calc for this is. I lose to his Pult because of darts specifically. So I've never seen Terra fighting, so that didn't cross my mind. But now I have the data for that, so that won't work again. So what I should have done was save Gambit just for this particular, because this is not a... I didn't know it was possible to lose. Like, I thought no matter what, he could possibly have done that turn. But this particular set is because I lost my Gambit there. So that's a good lesson if I lose this one. Darts. What's the timer? 60 seconds. Terra Ghost. Shit doesn't have Terra Blast. I'm pretty sure. Fuck. If I'm going to risk the tie, I want it to be risked. Okay. So he gets the Quiver Dance here, which might lose me the game as well, but not necessarily, because I'll go to my Loom. Because I mean, we're having a darts tie. If he's, because he can Fire Blast and one shot my Dragapult if I'm not careful. Because darts, like, there's no reason not to lock yourself into darts. Wow, I actually allowed myself to potentially lose here. So we always Spore. Spore into Bulldoze means that he can't. Wow. And if he's Jolly Pult, then I die. If Fiery Dances, as I said, Bulldoze means that even if he were to have woken up, my Pult will come in. So, not pleased with this. Not pleased with this at all, because I think this should have been a pretty easy dub for me. And so, lesson learned there. You gotta be wary of these Terras, man. These Dracos. Shit. What the fuck? It's special Terra fighting. Oh my god. That might be a problem. Oh my face special. What? Oh no. And that's because my Zoroark cannot one-shot him. Fuck. It's super weak, but it's specs. Okay, there's no way Rotom's taking it. Like if I get him to -4, protect. Okay, let's calc this. I doubt Rotom's taking. Fuck. And he won the tie, I'd assume, or he's just Draco Meteor -4 Rotom wash. I'm Spadef, which, you know, is not really a set in here, but let's just say calm. -4 Draco is still doing way too much. So I gotta, like, damn. Wow. So now I had to bank on a miss. So he obviously teched, because why the fuck not, right? I'll Hydro. If I get if he misses and I get the Hydro damage off, yeah. But yeah, Zoroark, man, I can't believe I fucking. But hey, I'm not mad at it. It's just that I made a mistake here that didn't need to happen. Like fucking dies even with -4. So I was like, I played that game to perfection, damn near, just to get fucking wrecked by Specs Terra fighting. But hopefully that's useful for you guys, you know, so that nobody can catch you off guard with that. Man, that I am not happy about that, especially because I didn't have to risk the Gambit. I didn't need Zoroark, but I was like, okay, well, what could possibly happen here that would make me not win? Like, how could he possibly not get dropped with my Sash intact, with my Rotom, with my full health? Like, I was like, there's no way he can win. And there you have it, man. You gotta. So I'm annoyed more so because we just lost free points. No, everyone's free points. But this guy's in the 1800, and it's about time I get this account into the 1800s. You know, we use a couple of gimmick teams, but this is actually a relatively standard team. So all these games should be bodies. So tomorrow, depending on how this goes, I'll try to get this one into the 1700s this live. Let's see, Zoroark. I want my Zoroark to be what? He has a Zoroark as well, so I'm gonna have to play that game with him. Oh man, this is fun. We're gonna have to play Zoroark Wars. My Gambit is my guy here. It's been a minute since I've played, like, in terms of like the Walking Wake and the Zoroark. So I don't know what's standard. But if I look at my team, Rotom's annoying as hell. I mean, my Great Tusk is okay. Loom is spore fodder. So he's gonna aim to get the hazards up as early as possible to prevent my Loom from doing its thing. It could be physical pult, which is something I'm worried about. So this is a bind for me because the Glamora could. So what I'll end up doing is I'm going to genuinely lead Tusk because it covers most of my bases, and I'm gonna have, what would Zoroark copying be? Because I can Terra Ghost sweeping with Choice Scarf, so that's low key my game plan. But for that to happen, I need some hazards up. I want my Zoroark to be my. He doesn't have a Gambit counter anyway. I want it to be my Pult. I'll let it be my Pult. Yeah, because if I take hazards damage, you'll know I'm not room. So I'll let it be my Pult. Always 10 seconds with these fucking Zoroarks. So again, I'm genuinely going to just leave my Tusk in the Rapid Spin. If he's like Terra Blast, 8 Energy Ball, he shouldn't be able to knock me out, right? And so this is phenomenal because he doesn't have a ground resist. And unless he Terra Flyings this Glamora. Now my Great Tusk is mad low, which isn't ideal. Especially because I have to darts this to kill it. My speed tier is 139 right now. So I doubt he'll just sack the Glamora. He was going to just sack the Glamora. Interesting decisions there. Don't agree with it, but Glamora is gone. I don't have to worry about rocks. Very, very odd decision making there. Then goes Scizor of all things. Like, because you're forced to BP. I don't get this guy. Like, Rotom isn't something you want in. Let's say we U-turns here. Nah, he has to BP because I get rocks. Bitter Malice, okay. So it was just Scarf, and he's like, well, he was just banking on the fact that he's faster than my Great Tusk, because I could have been a speedier Great Tusk. So he reveals that his Zoroark is his Scizor. It could be choice, it may not be, whatever. VS is our play here. This is interesting. Can't get rid of the T-Spikes, which is a problem. I don't know if he's choiced. I need Loom Sash intact. Yeah, I can't risk him being choice scarfed. So yeah, we're just gonna kowtow here. There's no way in hell you go hard, Valiant. Even if he does, I have solutions, but it's just a poor play. Okay, so he's not choice. It's the thing with them things, man. You don't know. You never know. But we're gonna make my best plays given the positioning. I just don't know enough. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've really sat down and then studied the meta. So right here, we always sucker punch. There's no reason to over predict or anything like that. I just stream. I don't have a switch in for this, so why the fuck not, right? I could Terra Ghost spam here. The question is, this what I want to Terra? Because what I want to be mindful of is the Valiant. And his Scizor too. Truth be told, his Scizor is a problem, if depending on what. So Zoroark Terra Ghost would kill this. I gotta be mindful of his Dragapult too. Terra Ghost clearly signals being physical and potentially being adamant. Potentially, right? It's a risk. So it's booster. And this is why I have my Loom on deck and why I have my Great Tusk to be sacked. I don't even think he can kill me. What would he kill me with? Your booster, right? So there's no I suppose knock could be a thing. Physical knock is an option. I actually don't want to risk that. Shadow Ball. I want to say I would have survived. I'd like to say I would have survived. I want to go back, but I seen that my Zoroark is my, so like, cause Zoroark is Pult. So Loom Sash is gonna come into play here. Unfortunately, but he Terra Ghosted. Never mind. It's better to Spore because I die the turn he doesn't burn any sleep turns. I can go back to Zoroark. I can go back to Dragapult. I could Zoroark, but it's better to pull. It's gonna be close, guys, because he Terra'd. Obviously, he has to stay in there. Ostracism, Bandied Bullet Punch should not do 76. He probably doesn't know I'm Scar Zoroark. Oh, whoa. He didn't BP expecting me to leave it in. His darts, his physical. Okay, blessed. I ran the calc on this, and every pull dies, I want to say, but I'm gonna U-turn into Rotom to get the guarantee kit. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck, man? This is my fault, bros. I had the guaranteed win there, and I was like, okay, what could be the worst case scenario here? The worst case scenario is that. Okay, Jay, you need to close these games out, man. But that's what I meant when I was like, I haven't played the meta in quite some time. So if you recall, when I was going for number one, I was at a motto of, I want all the nonsense to surprise me now. Because that's the only, well, I don't say that's the only way you're going to win, but I can run into opponents that have a solid, even matchup and they just play well. But this part of the like 1800s, low 1900s, definitely not in the 16, 1700s. If you don't have some sort of gimmick, you're getting thrashed, you know. And so right there, I'm like, okay, he's banded. But even if he wasn't banded, in no reality do you go for substitute there. Right, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I guess he was like subbing in case I was sashed. Man. So I just shot a ball and won there. And I'm like, okay, what? But that's my own fault for assuming he's banned. So I fucking tossed another bunch of points. Free points in 2 games. The freest of points. So yeah, it is what it is. We'll take the lessons. I can't make this shit up, bro. Like, how? So it's crazy. So Loom being Zoroark here. Let's see. And I really just lead my Terra Ghost and just have my way with this guy's team, truth be told. I'm actually going to lead Loom. But yeah, Terra Ghost just is a fucking wash, truth be told to you. I could leave Flamigo and U-turn. That's a concern, I suppose. But I'll have my Zora. What would be your Gambit counter? You don't have one. My Zoroark's gonna be my damn. What? My Great Tusk? Nah. Zora's gonna be my Dragapult, I think. Yeah, let's make it Dragapult. Yeah, I was considering him Flamigoing and U-turning. I could also CC, but like I could also not be. The reason this is a problem is if I bulldoze. So I'm actually gonna go Rotom. Rotom's pretty shit. I knew if this happened, I had the Rotom solution, right? Because Rotom loses to Dragalge, potential Clodsire. So we'll check to see what he's gonna do. It's Draco. That's the problem. We never go Gambit. Your game's too fucking important. Especially because I can Terra Flying and thrash him. Draco Michia. That is an issue. What's the speed tier on this? Loom's naturally faster, but I don't want to give up my sash for this. Loom's too good. I want to give up Rotom though. And do I want to have Gambit take fucking 3,000%? I don't. Man. I'm split F Rotom, so I'll eat 1. Oh, wait. All right. Right. No. This shit is fast. Oh, no. I gotta go Gambit. I have to play the end game differently. My Gambit might be faster than this Scizor. Yeah, I took 71% from that. Jesus. This was poorly executed on my end. He's gonna leave it in and kill me. I knew that. This was very poorly executed on my part, guys, truth be told to you. That was very poorly executed. I'm very disappointed in myself. Usually I'm never in situations where I'm forced to make it. I mean, I could have said, I have several win cons, which is why I'm not too pressed. But Rotom was far, I just said it was less valuable. So what I could have done, I could have switched back to Rotom. The reason I stayed in with Gambit is because I knew he was going to stay in, and that's the only way I'm getting damage on this. Now this is a non-factor, so it won't get another kill for the remainder of the game. Unless somehow... nah, you're not getting no more kills. So... you want to hold positions that cannot be defended. It's still a kind of an awkward position for me, because I don't want Rotom coming in. And Hatterene switching hard in is actually an issue. So I'm forced to unveil my Terra just for position's sake, which I didn't want to do. But as I said, I should be able to win this game still. But the Dragalge coming in, asked for Scizor, which is odd. So I'd assume it's going to be U-turn into... Okay. That's what I'm saying. That's odd, because I knew he was going to U-turn, which would have... That's a shit play. Like, complete shit play. But it worked out for him. I say shit play because if you're going to go to something, you want to go to something that, like say a Rotom can Will-O-Wisp. If you go Scizor and I Terra Blast your Scizor, you saw what happened to the last guy. But even if it didn't kill, then you would be bodied either way. I could go a hard Polt. There's no reality where he nuzzles here. Psychic. This guy has Psychic on his Hatterene. Watch him Terra fucking normal here. Why is the world so cold? Terra normal Clodsire now. Nah. So Clodsire being gone, my Rotom went from being a non-factor to that nigga. That motherfucker. And I can Shadow Ball spam with my Zoroark as well. This thing is clearly Scarf, and my Breloom is now that guy. So I mean, Brave Bird. If you CC, you're just king. Actually, he has that one ability. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's not a big deal though. As long as Rotom's alive, especially because you're so weak to this fucking Tusk. So Hatterene / Rotom comes in. Problem is Hatterene's Psychic, as he showed. I don't want any damage on my Zoroark if I can help it. So I really want to double back to my fucking Dragapult here, but yeah, it goes Rotom. That's the mid ground I was afraid of. If he went Rotom and I doubled the Dragapult, I wouldn't kill the Rotom, obviously. He's max defense, it seems. So this is... I gotta be careful around his CGV Hydros here, but I think Hydro into... Okay, doubles to Hatterene. That was a good double, because I did think about rocking just to say fuck it. This could go a couple different ways. My Breloom isn't that great, but it could be a complete waste to just throw away its Sash. So if I VS into Zoroark, Zoroark takes one and threatens with Ball. Yeah, I don't need Zoroark to be at full, but I would have preferred a situation where I'm not going Zoroark here. I'll keep the Choice Scarf so the Flamigo is kept at bay. Shadow Ball, easy to a KO. Okay, Jam. Can you finish this opponent? We've been here before. Jam's up, dominating. And the opponent finds some way to weasel his way back. Flamigo. With the Shadow Ball, I don't know what this shit does. So let's see. Let's think about the situations. I could give Rotom up. He hasn't used his Terra yet, which is something I'm paying attention to. He hasn't given Zoroark. I mean, he hasn't. So this is the only thing that can KO it. Well, not KO it, but you know. So let's say he. What are my situations here? Hatterene pretty much is always going to lose to Polt. Scizor. Let's say I go Rotom, sack that. What do I do after that? If he Brave Birds, so I actually have to just stay in a Shadow Ball here because we Brave Birds specifically. Because if he sees him CCing here, means I can go to Great Tusk and knock off. There are a couple ways to skin this cat here. Because I Shadow Ball. What I'm concerned about is the Scizor being able to BP win, but I don't think he should be able to. I don't know if he has Draining Kiss. I was scouting for that. I was like, I can't tell if he has Draining Kiss. But because I have my Great Tusk at full, and the Scizor is going to get Spored, so I get to Hydro Pump here. And the Hydro Pump damage will mean that Dragapult will KO him. And my Rotom is just too weak to get too much from Draining Kiss. It's too low. Actually, KO him with Hydro Pump. Hopefully I hit. I did not expect Rotom to 1v1 that. The Hydro Pump did way more than I expected. So this is a big deal. Because if he CCs, my Tusk can eat. And Rotom can never lose to BP. So what could it lose to? Swords Dance? Let's say Swords Dance. Great Tusk 1v1 is a Swords Dance. So if I knock this out, this is Scarf. So Great Tusk takes nothing from this. Well, god damn, bro. That crit's gonna matter. But thinking if he sees he'd need 3 to kill me. If I rocks, say he's banded. Because I could just go for a knock here. I could, I'm going to Stealth Rock first. I guess, what could I lose to? Sash Scizor? I'm trying to think what the Scizor, well, he U-turned, but I don't remember on what. He U-turned on my, so yeah, it does go Scizor. Excellent. Because my Loom is sashed. Scizor took a ton. CC, yeah, it's over. I didn't have a reason to, but now that he's shown me his moveset, it doesn't really matter what he did there. It never really did. Say CC's dies. Whew, I think we may have finished an opponent. That's the bullet punch, obviously. Okay, Jam, just calm down. Just calm down, bro. I think if you just Mach Punch twice. Okay. Because Scizor doesn't have Roost anymore. That much I know. Man, talk about just. But hey, you know, it just goes to show the game is not over until it's over, man. But yeah, we went 2 for 2, which, you know, for my hardcore viewers, you're like, Jan, this is an easy 4-0. To be fair, you can't blame me for the special Dragapult Terra fighting, like. Well, you can, because I could have just switched Gambit out. But that was not even on my radar as a possibility. Because the only way you know what to prepare for is if you've experienced it in the past. So the future in Pokemon is really your past. So that wouldn't work twice on me because I've experienced it now. Which is really the game, you know, in all seriousness. Is to go out and lose a ton of times so you can learn what you lose to, then find solutions to it, and then come back, put your opponents in the dirt. But as I said, we're going to wrap it up there. My apologies for still remaining in the 1600s. It's a dangerous place. But I'll see you guys in the next one. This team is going to do great things. All wins tomorrow. Peace.